Good morning, good afternoon. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again. So happy to be here with you today on this fabulous Wednesday, rainy Wednesday here in San Diego. We could use the rain, so we're pretty excited about that.
Nice to see you guys again. As you know, I'm Jen Moncluse.
And I'm Doris Barnes.
Yep, we're excited to be here on session 2 of our online phone skills training. So thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks so much, guys. And of course, thank you to our dear friends at Jasper Engines and Transmissions. You guys certainly do a lot of things to give back to this industry. And we are just very grateful for you and the kind of people that you have in your organization. So thank you so much, and for supporting us and supporting this webinar. We really appreciate that.
Yeah, we're excited. We got a lot of great content for you guys today. As a friendly reminder, if you're just now joining us, this is our course objective. We're going to help you guys with phone skills, a variety of them, so that you all can increase your car counts, get more people in the door, help you with sales as well. That'll be coming up this Friday, of course, in the most professional and ethical way.
Yes. Yeah, you should always hear anything that we do. We want to make sure that those principles are woven in, and that we're always doing the right thing for our customers, for your companies, for your employees, for those of you that work with the companies, and for your customers at the same time.
So people first, kind of our motto here, for sure. That's what we live by, and you guys will see that weaved into this training. We would really never recommend anything to our customers or potential clients for that matter, and we'd hope you guys would do the same.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, so here we are. We've got our module 2 today, as you all know, and we are going to be covering steps 3 and 4 on this list. And then next week we'll be getting into 5 and 6. So today we're going to be looking at developing your phone skills. We're going to have some role play happening, which is going to be really great. So tune into that. And we're going to talk about dealing with difficult callers and what we need to make sure we keep in mind always with those people on the phone.
Yeah, I know that can be tough. So everyone from just anxious first-time callers, people who are hesitant setting appointments, the price shopper, if you want to coin them as that.
You guys don't get those, right? No price shoppers, right, you guys? Never.
So we're going to help you develop more skills. And then, as Doris mentioned, powerful phone sales tips when you're actually selling on the phones, and ongoing skill development will actually come this Friday. 2 webinars this week. Lucky you guys.
Hooray.
So just as a friendly reminder, we want you guys to squeeze the most out of this online webinar. We've got some bullet points here to remind you. Make sure you're in an uninterrupted spot for the next 40 minutes or so. We're going to need your undivided attention.
Take really good notes. You know, jot these things down. If you need to go back and watch the recordings, those are going to be available to you as well. But make sure that you take your time and write down those things that stand out to you that you know you need to really work at. Keep an open mind too. You know, this is so important. And we know that if you've been doing this work for any period of time, you've got habits that you've created, and some of the things that you're going to hear are certainly going to be new. That's the point. And making those changes is sometimes hard. It's hard to see how doing things differently is going to work when you've been doing things a certain way for so long. So keep your minds open. Don't be quick to dismiss anything. At least let it rattle around a little bit before you make a decision against it, because we know this content works.
And then if you have any questions relative to what we're covering today, you guys have your little question panel. If you want to just open up your control panel with the yellow button, there's going to be a Q&A time at the end. Doris and I will live, answer the questions that roll in, and don't worry if we run out of time. I will make sure to follow up with you guys personally to make sure you've got some feedback, suggestions, what may be needed.
Yeah. And you've got a little orange button. See that arrow up there, guys, on the right? You should see that. Just looks just like what you see there. You can click that. It'll expand and then hide your control panel, so that if that's blocking your screen in any way, you can do that.
Yes.
Okay.
So a few more tips, just how to squeeze the most out of this. Immediately apply your course assignments. We're asking you guys to put the right kind of habits into motion now. So at the end of every module, Doris and I give you guys a suggested handful of assignments to help really refine your phone skills. That's the name of the game in this course training. So make sure you guys are putting that into action ASAP. We also follow up with you guys with post-meeting emails. We send those to the shop owners and the viewers with a bulleted kind of reminder list of what you guys should be focusing on from week to week.
Yes. Absolutely. Review the recorded session that will be posted at the end of the day. You guys will get that by the end of today. Okay. And plan on joining us at our next live session. As Jen mentioned, that's going to be this Friday. So not tomorrow, but the next day, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific. So make sure you transition that into your current time zone.
All right.
Okay. Off we go.
Yes.
Let's get into our content for the day, guys.
Right. So hopefully you guys have a pen, paper, pencil. We want to go over the 8 steps of the elite sales cycle again with you guys. See a pattern here. Repetition is the mother of learning.
That's right.
And just kind of remind you guys that for today's course, this is going to be more applicable to the inbound caller. Okay, someone who really isn't accustomed to knowing much about your brand. Never done business with you before. Really, they're brand new. We'll call them a lead. I guess we could refer to them as that.
Yes. So we need to make sure that we are conscious of these 8 steps, because from the moment that you pick up the phone and have that first interaction with this brand new person, let's say, you're following these steps typically subconsciously. You don't really know you're doing it, but these steps are the natural flow of communication, and especially in a buying and selling environment. So how does this flow when you're on the phone? Number one, you build rapport. You're going to do that by getting that person to smile and feel good about you right away. You're going to fact find. You're going to ask lots of good questions about what the vehicle needs, right? We're going to role play this for you today.
Yeah.
Identify the caller's needs and concerns. We need to make sure we do that out loud with this person so they know we understand their needs. We're going to tell them what we believe those solutions are. Bring it in. We'll take a quick look at it, and we'll let you know what we need to do from there, right? That appointment is the solution typically for now. We're going to build interest and value in that appointment, in the experience at your facility, in your people, in the ease of the process, right? Then we're going to ask for the sale, and that's the appointment that we want to schedule. That is the sale here. Do we get the appointment or not?
Right.
If we don't get that appointment, we lost the sale, okay? Then we want to close the sale. We want to make sure we answer all their questions, make sure that they know where we're located, introduce ourselves, resell the service, let them know they made a really good decision and they're going to be pleased with coming in to meet us for the first time. Okay, so you see how this flows. If you guys need to make sure that you have this sales cycle in front of you all the time.
So post it somewhere, like physically somewhere near your phone, in your workstation, on your computer. If it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So today, I know, Doris, we've been giving you these hypothetical explanations of how to follow this. We're actually going to set up a realistic kind of price shopper phone call. We're going to tackle it in chunks, maybe in first half, second half. We're going to role play it where you're just going to listen because it's, a phone call. And then we're going to break it down step by step so you guys get really great examples and explanations of how this works and why.
Yes, and if we don't follow these steps, you'll lose the sale. You won't get the appointment. So this is why we want to make sure you're conscious and really using these 8 steps every single time you pick up that phone. Okay.
Friday, we'll get into how you would follow this in a point of sale capacity. So we won't worry about that today.
Yes.
Okay. So first, we're going to talk about more skills, tips, things you need to be understanding and applying when the phone call comes in. So first and foremost, remember, we talked about this briefly last week. Your callers are anxious. The first thing they have to buy is you. We talked about feelings last week, right? They got to feel good. We use those little examples of marketing and ads and whatnot. You guys need to do everything in your power so that caller can take a deep breath and get a general sense that they've called the right people. People's the key word here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how are they going to do that? You've got just a split second really to make sure that they initially really like you, and you do everything that you can to reduce their anxiety. Well, what did we learn last week, you guys, about, remember that UCLA study where we're talking about tonality being after visuals, and we're over the phone, so we don't have the visual unless you're on FaceTime. You're probably not. So we need to make sure that our tonality is such that this person goes, you know what? I really like this person.
Yeah.
They seem like they're having a great day. They've got an upbeat energy, a great tonality. This is the kind of person I want to deal with. That's it, you guys. You don't have a lot of time otherwise. So that is how you're going to reduce their anxiety, and they've got to buy you first.
Yeah. And then once they do, they'll be way more inclined to have a dialogue back and forth with you, right? That's what we're after.
Yes. Always build interest and value before you ask for the appointment or give any sort of a price on anything over the phone. Okay. So building interest and value before you ask for the appointment, 9 times out of 10, you guys, you're going to be going for the appointment without giving a price.
Yes.
Okay, the only time that you may consider giving a price over the phone, and this is all up to you and the companies you work with, you may have slightly different policies than what we're sharing with you, but if you're going to ask Elite, what do we recommend? We're going to tell you that if you give a price on anything, just maybe a menu item, you know, an oil change. You have to make a decision on things like tires.
Yeah.
But if it's a menu item and it's got a set price and there isn't anything that could change that when that person shows up, feel free to give a price. But before you give a price on even something as simple as an oil change, you've got to build a lot of value before that number comes out of your mouth.
Right.
So it'd be something like, you know, our oil changes that range anywhere from $39.99 to $69.99 come with this kind of quality part, this kind of quality staff, this kind of a warranty, and they start as low as, right? So you give the price last.
Yeah.
You build that value, price comes out of your mouth last.
Always, cardinal rule 101.
Yes.
Get them interested in it first before they hear any type of number. So we'll show you that in the role play. Understand the perceived difference between free and no charge. There is a difference, you guys. So if you guys have a no charge or complimentary brake inspection or whatever point inspection you do, we definitely want you to get rid of the word free.
Yeah.
It cheapens things, right? And no charge kind of implies that there is a cost, but it will be no charge to you. So perceived value goes up.
Yes, yes, slight tweak you guys can make that'll make a difference for sure. And number 4 says paint mental pictures that will reduce the caller's anxiety. This is absolutely critical because we don't have visuals over the phone.
Right.
So painting mental pictures is a way to kind of tell a story to the customer in a way that will reduce their anxiety. So if we're looking at trying to make sure that they know they've got the right people on the phone and the right company, we can paint a mental picture of the ease of the experience, our really nice, comfortable waiting room, the fact that you're going to give them a tour and introduce them to your smiley, happy staff. We could talk about qualifications, you know, doing those things that are going to really reduce that anxiety.
Yeah, so people like stories. Remember we talked about people believe what they see. So those are those mental pictures that it's going to help this caller understand this won't be so bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on to our step number 5. This one says, whenever possible, offer your callers options.
Yes.
People want choice. And it's no different when they're on the phone with you trying to schedule an appointment.
Right.
Right?
The caller always wants to take control. Do you guys ever feel that? They want power, they want choice. So what we're recommending is when it comes to the appointment, give them 2 options. We have a little, you're probably wondering, why the heck is there a Tide sample up here? This goes along the idea of power at the point of sale is choice at the point of sale, I'm sorry, is very powerful. When you guys go into a retail store and say you're looking for Tide, you know, Tide's going to be sitting next to the store brand. That's why it's blank here. There's a lot of power behind choice. In that retail store, sure, there might be a lot of options, more than just 2, but there's a reason for that. If there was just Tide sitting on the shelf, you're going to wonder, if it's $10.99 here and I'm at Target, for instance, what does Walmart possibly offer? Do they have that on sale? Is it same ounce, etc.? You know, they question. We want you guys to take that guesswork out of it and keep the callers focused in your shop by providing options, just like Target does. There's options. You're going to pick this one or that one on the shelf. You're still purchasing something from Target.
Guys, options make it easier for people to make decisions. If you feel like you just have one choice in front of you, 2 o'clock today, for example, for the appointment, or just Tide, our brains, it's just a bit of psychology for you. They're automatically wired to want to find some sort of a comparative analysis, and we feel backed into a corner.
Yes.
Like we only have this one choice in front of us. We're wired to find that choice. So we want to make it easy for people. If you just say 2 o'clock is the option, then you know what, that might not work, right? So if you can say, you know, it could get you in now, if that could work, we could squeeze you in now, or we could get you in at 2, which would be better for you. Right now, I'm in control. And it's gonna keep my head in your store and out of those alternative outside options. Does that make sense?
Yes. So try to always do this when you guys ask for the appointment. Step number 6, stop the caller from shopping by offering the option, just like Doris said, I can squeeze you in right now, or possibly, you know, would 2 work better for you? Now they have options. What does squeezing someone in right now do for the shopper, Doris?
Well, if they're calling around trying to find a home, and it's the first time especially, they are going to stop shopping. You heard Jen say that really briefly, right? Think about that. Now, we understand you're not always going to be able to provide now as an option.
Right.
But what we're going to ask you to consider is if you have a first-time caller on the phone, they're not in your database, you've never seen them before, they tell you that, I would figure if there's a way you can work some little wiggle room in your schedule to bring in a few first-time callers as like those now appointments, okay? Because for that powerful reason that if you can't get them in right away, they may pick up the phone and keep shopping.
Yeah.
And they may not end up in your shop.
Right. So we just want you guys to avoid that. And then the process is started. They're there now. They're not going to take their car anywhere else after they've met you and you guys have been implementing what we've asked you to. They're going to love the experience, right? So whenever possible, talk to your team about this. See what kind of wiggle room you guys can put in your schedule, because this is huge to help you guys secure more appointments.
Now, whatever you do, don't ask for the appointment by saying, well, what timing would be best for you? You don't want to open it up to them. They might say, well, you know what, let's do it next week. We don't want that to necessarily happen, right? We want to try to guide them and get them in as soon as possible. So this is why options are really, really great. Okay, number 7, it says ask for the appointment by using an assumptive close. What is an assumptive close?
Yeah, so assumptive is like presuming that they are going to come in. So if you were to offer the options of, you know, I can squeeze you in now or I can get you in at 2 doors, which of those two would be more convenient for you? It's assumptive, as if they're going to pick one and come in. That's how we want you to ask for the sale, the appointment, in this manner. Like Dora said, we don't just want to flat out say what would be convenient for you this week. And if it's Monday and they say, oh, I'll come in Friday morning, I mean, really, you guys, anything can happen between Monday and Friday.
Right. Yeah. So that's really powerful. You'll hear us role play that assumptive close again. But, you know, I could get you in now or 2 o'clock, which of these options would be better for you? So versus, you know, would one of those work for you? That's a yes or no response. We want to try to limit that.
Yeah. And then step number 8, we're going to mention this a couple times, you guys. We just really want this to resonate with you. Don't forget, you are the professional auto care expert.
Yes.
I know that there can be a small range of callers that are just really tough. They want to take control. They want to hijack the conversation. You know, we always teach our students that the one who's in control is the one who's asking the most questions. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but don't let those aggressive callers or really anxious people dictate how you're going to answer the phone for future purposes.
Right.
Okay.
Guys, this is so important. And there's a lot of skill, a lot of practice that you need to utilize over the phone to stay in control. And like Jen said, the one asking the questions is in control. Okay, so you'll kind of feel that when we do this role play in a bit.
Yeah, so hold your ground. You guys can do this. Okay.
Now we're talking about dealing with difficult callers. So let's talk about some of the best practices here. Okay, remember, your tonality is everything. And the first thing the caller has to buy is you. We talked about this, but let's transition down into bullet point 2 and kind of talk about these together because they go hand in hand. It says keep the caller calm and engaged. And if they become frustrated, you're going to lose.
Yep.
So you got to really be the smiley, happy, helpful person. If they sense you become frustrated, if your tonality drops, they can kind of feel that in the way that you're communicating with them, you're going to be in a bad way.
Yeah, it can come off as defensive. So bottom line, monitor your emotions. You really got to listen to your inbound calls, you guys, if you want to get a real good feel for how you are coming across over the phone. We don't want to be jaded. Just because it's another person calling for a price on fill in the blanks doesn't necessarily mean they're just focusing on price. We can kind of turn them around. So keep them calm, slow the conversation down, and we got to really be intuitive to how they sound on the other end, okay? So remind them, hey, you've called the right place. We're going to take really good care of you. This kind of ties into painting vivid mental pictures, but we want to just get this frustration, this pain out of your life. I promise we'll make the process really easy. We have to just reduce and reduce and reduce that anxiety on the other end of the phone.
So if somebody gets frustrated and, you know, they say, well, I don't understand why you can't give me a price. You know, other shops have given me price. They're going to say, you know what, Jen, I certainly understand why you feel that way. If I were in your shoes, I may be saying the same thing. So let me kind of help you with some additional thoughts that may help you to make sure you make the right decision. And then, so you kind of see how it's up to me as the professional. It's up to you as the professionals to make sure that you know how to keep that collar calm. And your attitude and tonality really is everything to that, you guys. So you got to practice this.
Yeah, you're going to get those heightened emotional customer or callers. That's why we put this under the difficult tab here. And with that said, I kind of led into number 3, but as well as you can, paint vivid mental pictures, the story. I mean, let them know about the process. We're going to take you on a quick test drive after you meet our technician. We're going to hoist the car up. We're going to take the tires off. You're building a lot of value in the process. You can do this with all kinds of things, all kinds of scenarios.
Yes.
Help them understand what it will be like doing business with you.
Yes. And I'm wondering if any of them have heard the term finality.
That's a good point.
When people are on the phone, they want what we'll call finality. They want to kind of hear, they want to get back to their life. They want this pain of having to take their car in, done. And in a perfect world, we don't want it to cost a lot of money, right? Now, you can't guarantee that, of course. We don't know, right? We won't know till we look at the car what it's going to need. But what we can do is we can, like Jen did, paint a picture of all the value they're going to get from this inspection. Whether it's for fee, if it's for fee, you got to do a really good job at painting a picture of the steps that you're going to take that are going to really help that customer see, oh my gosh, you're going to do all of that for that little?
Yeah, only 50 bucks, whatever it is.
If it's complimentary, same thing. But paint a picture of the end of that. You know, we just want to get you back to your life. We want to make sure it's pain-free. And who knows, maybe this is even going to be something real simple. We can just scoot you out of here in a very short period of time.
Yeah. See how that's just going to help that caller go, all right, yeah, this sounds good. So do whatever you guys can with those stories and vivid images. Number 4, have your checklist in front of you and help the caller learn how to choose the right shop. So this is for the scenario when this caller is clearly, you guys, telling you, hey, I'm shopping around. You're shop number 3 out of the 6 I have on my list. And based off of all these calls, I'm going to make the executive decision on who I'm going to see. When you know that that's the case and they're clearly going to be calling your competition after you, whatever, I would come up with a list of what questions to give that shopper. You know, if they hammer off 5 of those questions to the next shop and the next shop and the next shop, I can guarantee you your competition is just going to get stuck on the phone.
They're not going to know what to say.
Not know what to say. So think of questions. I mean, have this caller ask them, do they employ ASC Master Certified Technicians? Do they look for options when it comes to vehicle repairs or services? How long have they been in business? What are their warranties? You know, can they explain what this particular potential service might entail?
Are they AAA approved?
Yeah.
I mean, think about the wonderful qualities and things that you have there at your facility, and then give them an assignment. So, you know, I'm sure you're like me. You want to make sure that first, most importantly, you find the right people. And if you don't get the right answers, I'm sure any price is going to be the wrong price. So here's a little list when you call around and make sure that you feel comfortable with them first.
Yeah. After you, of course, have answered those questions about your facility. So that's a great thought starter for you guys to use when you know they're a definitive price shopper.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. And never forget, you're the expert. We wanted to bring it up again because we know it's so easy for these, especially the dominant customers, callers, excuse me, to take control.
Yeah.
And to start telling you and being the ones asking the questions. And we're going to show you that right now.
Yes. Okay.
So camera off, guys. We are going to role play, and you can't look at us. So we're just going to make it easy for you by turning this camera off. And the reason we don't want you looking at us is because we want you just focusing in on the tonality.
Yes. So Doris and I are going to run through like a pretty standard call situation scenario. Doris, you're going to be the advisor. I'll be the customer or the caller. I'm going to be just inquiring for price. We'll keep it simple for something like brakes, right, Doris?
Yes.
Okay.
So in addition to paying attention to the tonality, listen to things that you tune into that you think I'm doing intentionally to control the conversation. Okay. Let's just have them tune into those 2 things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for calling Elite Auto Service. This is Doris speaking. How can I help you?
Yeah, I need to get a price on brakes. I've got a 2010 Camry.
Okay, yeah, I'm more than happy to help you. Just need to get a little more information from you. You said it's a 2010 Camry, right?
Yeah, that's right, 2010.
Okay, well, great. By the way, my name's Doris. May I ask who I'm speaking with?
Oh, I'm Jen.
Well, hi, Jen. When was the last time you were in our shop?
You know, I've never been to your shop. I found you guys online.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much for giving us a call, and you're going to really enjoy the experience here. That's great. So let me ask you, Jen, why do you think the vehicle needs brakes?
You know, it's just making this like a hissing noise, and it's happening when I stop on the brakes.
Nope.
Step on it, yeah.
When you put pressure on the brakes, Jen?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jen, how long has it been doing this?
Gosh, couple of weeks now.
Okay, so for about 2 weeks, you'd say, you think?
Mhm.
Okay. Jen, have any lights come on the dash at all? Any sort of indicator lights?
No, none that I've seen.
Okay, well, that's a really good sign. So no indicator lights. I'm just going to make a few notes here. And Jen, have you noticed any changes in the brake pedal height when you're pressing on it, or operation at all?
No, not really.
Okay, that's great. So no changes in height or operation. And have you seen any indications of any leaks where you park your Camry, or have you noticed anything else with the Camry that seems at all to be unusual, Jen?
No, not really.
Okay, all right. Nothing that seems to be unusual otherwise. And one last question for you, Jen. Does anybody else drive your vehicle?
No, just me.
Okay, so you're the only driver. Okay, great. Well, Jen, thank you so much for sharing with me. There are actually a number of things that could cause a hissing noise like this when you're applying pressure to the brakes.
Okay.
And based off of what you just told me, you may not need a brake job. So what I suggest you do is bring your Camry in so that we can perform our 21-point inspection. This is the first part of any service here, and it'll only take about 30 minutes. And it's absolutely no charge at all to you. So what we'll do then, as soon as we're finished, we'll be able to give you a written report for anything that may need to be done. So I could actually, I'm just taking a look at our schedule, I could squeeze you in right now, Jen, or I could get you in at 2 o'clock. Which would you prefer?
Okay, and we're gonna pause here, guys. We just covered a ton. So I put up a little cheat sheet here. We basically have built rapport, fact found, identified the caller's needs and concerns. We offered the solutions, right? And Doris has done one heck of a job building interest and value. We're gonna finish this call, but I wanna stop right here to do a quick couple of breakaways. So tonality, you guys heard her, right? She sounds like she's believing in what she's recommending, that's for sure. So number one, I don't think we need to discuss that in any more detail, but let's talk about fact finding, Doris. Did you guys notice how many questions she asked me relative to Jen's quote, brake concern? This was really cool. Doris was prepared to ask the right kind of questions. And that's neat for you guys to do, because you can then tell the caller, based off of what you just told me, you may not even need a brake job. Or you guys could say, gosh, we just seem to have more questions than answers. It would almost be impossible to give an accurate price over the phone. You guys with me on this?
Yeah. So that's important, guys. Take that one and write it down. And then it says build interest and value. We did that. You heard that painting mental pictures before we asked for the appointment? Did you hear how we did that? It's only going to take 30 minutes. It's absolutely no charge. And after we're finished, we'll be able to give you a written report that you can squeeze out of here with.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys noticed too, there was no risk. I mean, Doris even said to the caller, if anything that may need to be done. So this is kind of placing doubt in the caller's minds. It may not necessarily be a definitive brake job for the Camry. How can an advisor give a quote over the phone? We love this particular verbiage.
You heard how we used options. We said, which of these would you prefer? So we're hoping that they're going to say, you know what, actually that 2 o'clock spot should work for me.
You did that presumptively.
Presumptively, yeah. We didn't open it up to a yes, no response or ask them what time would they like to bring it in.
Yeah.
We don't want to do that.
And she used that verbiage, squeeze you in now, or 2 p.m. There's that power. This particular one had no charge to it. So, that still kind of implies there's a cost, but not to this particular caller. We love that. So she made this really simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about controlling the conversation real quickly? Let's talk about that, and then we'll move into the second part of our role play today. So did you notice how after Jen gave me the information I was asking her for, I didn't allow any quiet space. We call that dead air. As soon as you have dead air in the conversation, you're going to give that caller an opportunity to take control and start asking you questions. The one asking the questions is in control, and you need to avoid dead air. So hopefully you also noticed I was using what we'll call note-taking tonality.
Yes, you did.
So Jen would say, no, I'm the only driver. And I'd say, okay, so you're the only driver. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. And Jen, how about this? I roll right from repeating her statements, like I'm taking notes, which we should be anyways, into the next question. I'm not giving her an opportunity to take control.
Yes.
That is key, guys.
Yep.
Absolutely key.
And you need to figure out what are your most popular calls. What are people calling in for the most for price? Have at least 5 to 7 go-to questions for those particular topics that you can rattle off and control the conversation with. So that's going to be our tips for you on that section of the call.
Yes.
Okay. You want to get into the rest?
Yes. Let's get into the part 2.
So I'm going to be the caller, you guys, and I'm not going to take that as an okay offering. I'm going to push Doris a little bit more for price, and I'm going to start it here where I say, well, gosh, can you at least give me an idea as to how much, a brake job could cost there?
Well, Jen, for your benefit, there's no charge for that inspection. It's absolutely free for you. So the most we're talking about right now is just a little bit of your time. So if either now or 2 o'clock could work for you, we'd absolutely love to get you in.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess 2 would work best.
Would 2 work okay for you? Yeah, Jen, you're gonna love it. Okay. You're gonna really enjoy the experience. So, Jen, let me go ahead and get the correct spelling of your last name if I could.
Sure, it's Monclus.
Okay, Monclus. And a phone number where I can reach you?
Yeah, 619-222-3333.
Okay, got that. And is that a cell, home, or work?
My cell phone.
All right, great. So that's the cell. Okay, Jen. Well, I have you scheduled in for that complimentary 21-point inspection at 2 o'clock today. And Jen, do you know how to find us?
Yeah, Main Street.
You are correct. Yes, absolutely. We're on the corner of 1st and Main. Now, is there anything else at all that I can help you with while I have you?
That's all I can think of for now.
Okay, well, great. Well, again, my name is Doris. I'm the service manager here at Elite Auto, and I look forward to meeting you at 2 o'clock. Thanks so much, Jen. See you soon.
Okay, cool. So, guys, we wrapped it up there, right? So, hopefully you noticed. You want to turn on the camera?
Yeah.
Hopefully you guys noticed that the advisor, which was Doris, continually asked for the sale, which is the appointment, right? She didn't take no for an answer the first round. Now, I get it. In this situation, the caller, was not insanely aggressive for price. If you guys want more help with that, the uber aggressive price shopper, you got to come to our master's class. We spend a month role playing that with you, feedback. It's a great course. But for today's purposes, I just want you to be aware that Doris made the process really easy. There was that no risk. She asked for the appointment. Let me know that it's really only going to cost me my time right now. You could also throw in, we just really do seem to have more questions than we have answers if that customer asks you for a range or, worst case scenario or ballpark price. There's ways to get around it. We can help you in more detail in our other services. But she closed the sale. She made sure Jen didn't have any more questions. She got all of my pertinent contact information, and she resold me on my decision to come into Elite Auto Repair. I should be feeling pretty good as a caller at this point that I've called the right people at the right facility, and I will come in at that point.
It's amazing how much it matters if they just like you. Yeah. And that's entirely emotional, you guys. They'll come in, they'll say, well, they just seem like really neat people. I think they're going to take good care of me. It kind of brings that anxiety of, they may bring me in and tell me it's going to cost a fortune, but I like them. I feel good about them. I kind of trust them. I think I found the right place. You guys, this is, you've really got to, top tips, listen to your self-sell, listen to those phone calls, really practice that tonality. I know at first, if you're not used to sounding the way that I sounded as the advisor, you may feel a little over the top. You may feel a little cheesy, if you will. Have your peers give you feedback. You won't, chances are you don't sound cheesy. Yeah. Right? Probably sound really good to the caller. Yeah. So,
and this was thorough. Did you hear how she asked, is there anything else I can help you with, or do you have any other questions? You guys should be asking those closing questions at the end before you hear that final click. You don't know what's going to come out of that. They might start asking you questions. Do you work on diesels? Do you work on, who knows what can come of those closing questions. So, let's just say best case scenario, we schedule the appointment at 2 and the caller just wants to call one more shop just to see. If that shop just bombs, I'm always going to be thinking of Elite, right? Yep. I'm going to come in. So we know this stuff works, you guys. We wanted to do a little mini role play to tie it all together for you. I hope this has all made sense.
Yes. Good stuff, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. We know how much power it is, or how great it is. I can't think right now to see a role play. you know, to actually hear it happen versus just having people talk about it. So
okay,
I hope that that was very helpful for all of you, and it's Q&A time. So let's help you in the best way that we can. Questions, guys, things that we can help you with, type those in. We had so many great questions last week. We had such an engaged group.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead, and we have to get really close to the screen to see these questions. So we're going to turn the camera off again here and lean in and answer some of these for you.
Okay, so here's a really great question. What if we can't provide options for appointments, ladies? We're booked 2 weeks out. Okay, yeah, this happens, right, you guys? That's a good problem to have. So, you know, my suggestion to you guys is talk to your team. I mean, we really got to fine tune and see if there's, you know, any times during your day or week where you could just give that wiggle room for at least a walk-in or one of those first-time callers. Remember, Doris mentioned that. Ideally, that first-time caller. If you absolutely can't, like you guys are just so slammed, then we need to give the caller really good reasoning as to why they've got to wait. This is where you guys can sell yourself. You can talk about your reputable shop, principles, ethics. This is why you guys are, you know, the most trusted shop in the community. You know, and let them know you've got customers and first timers that are willing to be patient and wait for great quality service like yours. So just put them at ease. You know, you'd love to help them. You'd love to give them the service they deserve. Thank them for giving you a shot, and it'll definitely be worth the wait, right?
Yeah, say something like, you know, we've earned a really loyal following because of the way that we take care of our customers. It's always our top priority. And, you know, we're in a position right now where we have so many people that want to come and see us that it just makes it where we were a little bit booked out. But we would love to see you, right? You see where we're going with this. Okay.
Oh, here come all. Okay, more questions. All right, here you guys go. Let's see. Which one do you want to answer next?
Oh, let's do that one here that you've got highlighted.
Okay.
It says, what would you say if they ask you for a price after you built great value in the free inspection and scheduled an appointment? But they still want to know how much it could cost.
Right.
Really good question, Nick. And that's really, you know, the better we get at painting a picture of why it makes sense that we have no idea what it's going to cost, the more sense it's going to make to the customer. So we gave you a few tips on that.
Yeah.
Asking lots of good questions that we don't have answers to during the fact finding, like I did in this role play, Nick, is going to be what's going to start to allow the customer to see that it does make sense why you can't give them a price.
Yeah. They may not even need that brake job, right? So to give them a blanketed price over the phone, you could tell them, Nick, is a promise. And at your facility, you know, a price over the phone is something that you guys stand behind, and you would hate to do them a disservice by giving them the wrong price. And if they just, you know, it only costs them 20 minutes of their time to come in. After that point, they could have an accurate written report they can walk out of there with. We'd want you to try all those tools possible before just throwing out a blanketed number or even spending 20 minutes writing up an estimate that you know is not going to be accurate. If all else fails and you absolutely have to give a price, I would say that range is going to be really the only way that could be applicable and keep you guys safe, because, I mean, there's just so many unknowns. We can't give them a definitive number over the phone without actually looking at the car.
And then put them at ease, Nick. Let them know, you know, we've got exceptional 5-star reviews. We've been in business for this long, and you know what? We're really competitively priced. If you are, you might be the top price shop in the community, and that's great too. You've obviously earned that, right? So build value in your people, in how much they're going to love the experience, how you personally are going to take really good care of them, and you'd love it if they ask for you. And it always comes down in any sort of a sale, and this is a sale, what's in it for the customer to not get the price over the phone, guys? How do they win by not getting the price? You got to think that through. We don't have time to get into that in any greater detail right now for you. Again, that's master's course kind of stuff, but you can work through some of that on your own, guys, for sure. Okay.
What would you say? Oh, we just answered that. I'm so sorry. This is so small. Let's see. How do you continue the conversation and try to take control of the conversation with a guest that keeps chatting, cutting you off, right?
Yeah,
that's a tough one, Julie. And that's going to be those super chatty Kathys that are anxious. They want to take control. So the best you can do is not get frustrated, not show that in your tone. Obviously, they're interested in chatting with you. I would allow them to just get what's off their chest, answer that to the best of your ability. And this is a fine art, Julie. You're going to have to find times where once they're done communicating that sentence, pop back in. And that's where I would start by asking them questions and not allowing for any dead air. I mean, it's going to take practice, but we definitely can't get frustrated on the phone. I know that's hard.
Yeah.
There's going to be those people that want to hijack the conversation at all times.
And they're going to be those people that'll talk right over you and interrupt you. And like Jen said, you've got to look for that next opportunity to get in there and take control back.
We've got a couple more minutes left. I wanted to allow for a little bit more time today for Q&A. Someone had a question here is, why is the brake inspection free? We charge for that. What do you say then? And you know what? There's a lot of shops that are going to have an associated cost with an inspection. There's nothing wrong with that, Brian. But when you give that price, remember, Sales 101, we build value in that brake inspection. What does it entail? What are you guys going to do? Paint that picture for that caller to see all the value that's going to be delivered for that $29.99 or whatever it is service. Let them know it shouldn't take too long and that they could literally walk out of there with a written report. That doesn't sound high pressure, right, you guys? Should they even need a brake job or whatever it may be, make the process easy. I wouldn't stress that you guys have a charge. Make sure that you are aware of your tonality, that it doesn't dip or get unsure when you give the price though.
Yes. All right, let's see if we can take one more here. Marcos says, what if you got the appointment but weren't able to accomplish the diagnostics due to a huge volume of cars currently in the shop, I'm supposing? What do you say not to get that new customer upset? Yeah, that is a great question. Thank you for asking that. So you get the customer to see the value in the appointment, but you go, oh gosh, we're so busy right now, there's no way we can get this car looked at today. Marcus, I'm assuming that's what you mean. What you can do there is you can build a lot of value in why you're so busy, because of you've earned the following, and that they found the right people. They're going to love the experience. And if you can set them up with alternative transportation, Marcos, that's going to be your best bet.
Yeah, I was going to say that. A loaner
car, maybe picking up the price on a rental car for them. That's entirely up to management. But if you've got a first-time caller, here we're focusing a lot of time on this, you want to try to win them as a new customer. So if you're going to do anything like that, definitely consider that for those first-time people that you want to win over.
Yeah, and if this is a continued issue, you need to have a conversation with management, Marcos, regarding, this setup at your particular facility and what we can do to work around that. Yeah,
Definitely.
Great questions, guys. I believe we've answered them all. If not, we're running out of time. I'll go through these again and shoot you guys a quick email one-on-one. So thank you for that. Hopefully we helped you with some great thought starters there. We are at that time now. I'm going to turn the camera back on and get into our next slide, where we're going to leave you guys with next steps and what you can do for the next couple days in your future to keep developing your phone skills.
Yes, keep working at this. Okay, so review the entire recorded session. Go back to it. We covered a lot today.
Yes.
Go back and watch that role play. I think that's going to be the most helpful part of this for sure. Listen.
Remember that 8 steps to the sales cycle? Continue memorizing that, literally internalizing it to the point where you guys are on the phone and you're not even thinking about the next step. Do I need to do step number 5 or 6? It's just naturally coming out, right? So I think that recorded session and watching our role play again will definitely help you guys out with that sales cycle.
It absolutely will. And then it says continue to practice and record your calls. If you don't have phone call recordings, if it's not built into your system, use your smartphones. When the students come to our master's course, we provide them with handheld recorders, but we want you to make sure you're doing this. Always have an emphasis on asking questions to control the conversation. And as a team, you need to come up with a list of questions for all of the most common things that people are calling for prices on. And there's a long list.
Yeah.
What would it cost to have my ABS light diagnosed? Or what would it cost to have transmission replaced, right? What are the questions you're going to ask? You got to have those ready. Don't be, just shooting from the hip with those.
You're going to struggle.
You got to have a list to go off of.
If you're new or you're just not too technologically savvy, that's fine. Ask your technicians. Ask them, what are the top 8 questions I should ask relative to a fill in the blank, I need a price on that kind of question.
Don't allow dead air and use that note-taking tonality to control the conversation, okay? Always be prepared to offer optional appointment times whenever possible. We get it. Now might not be an option. but just think of what we shared with you and when you need to try to do that. But always still, doesn't matter if now's not an option. Try to give 2 choices.
Yeah.
Not 3, 2. It makes it easier for people to make that decision. And next it says, be proud of your brand and keep that commitment to never putting money ahead of people. Be prepared to really wow them with selling them on who you are, why you guys are very good at what you do, the principles that you share, the way that your company gives back, and why you've earned the reputation that you have over the years, right? Help them see that they found the right people, and you'll go really, really far over the phone.
And remember, our next session actually is not next week. It's this Friday, the 18th, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll see you there.
Friday, we'll see you. And we are so grateful that you joined us today, guys. Thanks again to our friends at Jasper. We're grateful for all of you. Hope you have an awesome rest of the week.
Yep.
And we'll see you in a couple days.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.